Good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you are on the face of the earth. Thank you for joining us for this event. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to it. Passion versus profession. This is Transformation Sanctuary. So this event is brought to you on the platform of Transformation Sanctuary International. We are a church here, like Pastor will say, in the east of England, in Raynham, in Essex. And normally we have different services during the week on Sunday and weekdays where we teach how to be victorious and Christ-like. And so we have Bible teachings on those days. If you don't belong to a church, please join us. But we'll be talking about that much more later. But we also are involved in different events where we bring on this platform. And this event is meant to teach people on how to live an everyday life, how to tackle everyday issues, to empower people, to share knowledge and all of that. But before I go on with my introduction, I am Victoria Lawal, and I would like to introduce usually it's pastor that introduces me. So I'm introducing my friend, my best friend, my pastor, and my personal husband. So you can introduce yourself.
Thank you for that. So I'm Vincent Lawal, pastor at Transformation Sanctuary International, and thank you, yes, for joining us tonight. It's always a privilege to host God's people and to have discussions, either indeed about the Bible or about things like things that will make our lives better.
Okay, all right. So, welcome on board, and I'm sure you're going to have a wonderful time. We are going to have a wonderful time together. Okay, one of the reasons the reason for the event, so we have a PowerPoint that we prepared so that you can follow us along as we go on. But the reason for this event is that we recognize that parenting in the 21st century can be daunting. Parenting in the 21st century, nobody has a manual. Everybody is just trying to do the best for their children. But what we look at is we looked at different issues, what is happening in our day-to-day, and we want people to be equipped, with the right knowledge to be able to tackle the challenges of today. We always have an interactive session, so please be ready to type, to put in your comments. Either you are joining us via Zoom or you are joining us on Facebook. You're welcome. Please be ready to interact with us because we like it to be interactive. And also, if you have questions as we go along, please feel free to drop in your questions and we will create time to go through the questions. Yes. So we've had previous parenting. So this is a series we are having. We've had various parenting sessions, and we title it Parenting in the 21st Century. The very first one we had was in October 2022. That was over a year ago. And we looked at the challenges, the solutions, the support parents can get, in this day and age to be able to help their children, the challenges that are facing both parents and children. Challenges facing parents in raising godly children. And we looked at, childcare, impact of digital age, technology, fashion, different things. We looked at all of those in the version 1 of this parenting series. The second one we had, even though we had other events in between, but the second parenting we had was where we talked about a safe haven for our children, building a safe haven for our children. And I think that a lot of people remember that one particularly because that was where we talked about the stages of parenting, being a commander, being a counselor, being a consultant, and being a coach. And a lot of people could identify with that. And the third version we had of parenting in the 21st century we had it in November last year, where we talked about what our children really want from us. So we didn't look at it just from the perspective of a parent. We looked at the perspective of children, what they actually like to see in our parenting techniques. And we talked about praising them, talking with them and not at them.
Not at them.
Yeah, talking with them and not at them. Taking interest in what they do, their hobbies, their passion. Actually, we mentioned passion. And not comparing them with others, among so many things we talked about. So, having said, I've laid that foundation so that you know that we've had a few parenting series that we've had, and they're all on our YouTube page and on our Facebook page. So if you missed out on any of those, please, you can just click on it on the YouTube page. On the YouTube page is Transformation Sanctuary, and on Facebook as well. Click on it; they are stored there. You can listen to them in your own time. But today we thought, what else are we going to discuss about parenting? And we said, okay, passion and profession. Which one outweighs the other? Are we going to balance both? Are we going to follow passion? Or we're just going to say, no passion. You're just going to focus on profession. But I'm just going to hand over now to Pastor, to Vincent, just to take us through some of the biblical basis of parenting and looking after our children.
Okay, have we done the outline for today?
No, it's after.
Okay.
It's after.
Right. So, because we are believers, because we are God's children, we know whatever we do because it is what God wants us to do, So, there are a few scriptures which I think speaks to parenting in the 21st century as a whole, and also to what we are trying to do today. So, for example, in Isaiah chapter 1, verse 18, the Bible says, "Come now, and let us reason together, says the Lord. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall be as wool." It says, come now. So God, in his relationship with us as humans, reasons with us. He doesn't have to. He is God Almighty. He sees the end from the beginning. But because of how he loves us, he reasons with us. So let's talk. Let's have a conversation about you. There's nothing we can discuss about with God which will change anything in heaven or which will change his purpose and all of that. But when he comes down to us and discusses with us, it is so that our lives can be better. And if God Almighty can do that with we weaklings, human beings, then how much more us as parents doing that with our children? We need to reason with them. We need to discuss things with them. Probably in our own generation, when we were younger, we were just told things to do. But time has moved on from that. Now you need to have that proper conversation with your child in terms of their interests and what they want to do so that they can live good life. So that's Isaiah 1:18. Second scripture, which hopefully you can see on your screen there, is Psalm 32 verse 8, which says, "I will instruct you and teach you in the way you should go. I will guide you with my eye." Now, God is always willing to teach and instruct us. He's always willing to teach and instruct us. He wants to tell us what to do. He wants to tell us where to go. He wants to tell us how to do things. And we must always subject ourselves to it, because ultimately, the children we're trying to raise as best as we can belongs to who? God. These children belong to God, and God is the one who, God has a plan and a purpose for them. And these children are young and they might not know it, but we need to work with God so our children can ultimately fulfill his purpose for their lives. And the third one there is When we see Proverbs 20 verse 5, it says, counsel in the heart of man is like deep waters. It's not readily available, but a man of understanding will draw it out. When we seek counsel, when we have those deep discussions, when we have those discussions which will help draw out what is on our inside, we gain understanding. We gain understanding. So that's the biblical basis for what we are doing. We need understanding. We all need to come together and reason together so we can gain understanding of what we need to do. So that's the biblical basis. So we're doing this because it is what God wants us to do. And we've cleared that. Okay. So moving on then to the outline for today. Are you taking that online?
Okay, I can quickly take the outline. So what we expect to get out of this session is, number one, of course, we've talked about what the Bible says about parenting.
Yeah.
We're going to look at passion and profession, and we're going to look at the differences between passion and profession and how they link together. And we're going to ask a question that, can passion actually become your child's profession? So it is something that we need to ponder about. Can my passion actually turn to my profession? And then we'll look at various solutions on how we can help our children in their, guide them in their career path and all of that. I thank you for everyone who is joining us, but I want to acknowledge somebody who is joining us from, is it Jeddah? That's Saudi Arabia, on Facebook. We love you, sis, and we can see that you made efforts. Even though you are out there in Saudi Arabia, you have joined on Facebook. Well done, and thank you. Yes, let's go on.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm sure you'd have heard of the saying, just follow your passion. Everyone's got a passion. Just follow your passion. Just do what you want to do. And all that, and that's all well and good. We see these things. If you listen to motivational speakers on YouTube, some say, "Oh, listen to this every morning, and you will transform your life." And if somebody say, "Go out," they have the Morgan Freeman's voice. Go out there and do this and do that, and you hear all of that, and that's all well and good. We all want to do what we enjoy doing and get paid for it. Who wouldn't want to live lives like that? Who wouldn't want to be that footballer who just loves playing football and yet he's paid millions? He's paid millions for it. A good example is someone like Ronaldo, who would do anything to be on the pitch to play. That's his passion. But he's turned it into a profession. He's made lots of money. But we'll come to that in a minute. So just follow your passion. We've had it and we'll hear it again from family members, from guidance counselors, from YouTube, Facebook, and all that. But that isn't that predicated on us knowing what our passion is in the first place. Can we all say that we all know what we're passionate about? And all that, this is my passion. And all that. That's stage one question. Stage two question, of course, which we'll discuss in part also in time, is how then does that passion turn into a profession? But let's start from stage one. How do we how do we get to know what our passion is? And we have a question.
I think we did say we are going to clarify it. Is passion relating to career? Yeah, because we can be passionate about different things. Passion itself is a very broad word, the meaning of it. So, but this passion is relating to passion about a career, about a vocation. That's what we are, the context of what we're looking at this afternoon. Yes.
Yeah, and we'll cover that when we get to the definition of passion. What is passion and all of that. But at this stage, and thanks for that clarification. So passion, this isn't passion about love. This isn't passion about the passion of the Christ. It's like, I went to an event, Transformation Sanctuary. They were talking about passion of the Christ and profession. No. This isn't about passion of the Christ. And this isn't about passion in marriage or in love or in relationships. No. This relates to what you just naturally like to do, what you are interested in. So we've got a question at this stage. So looking at passion from that lens, not passion of the Christ, and not passion for relationship, but passion relating to what you would like to do. Somebody said, what would you want to do and nobody pays you for it and you still want to do it for free? That's what we're talking about. Those kind of passions. Are there differences then between passion, skills, and work, the work we do every day? Are there differences between those? So please put it in the chat or put it in the comment section on Facebook. Are there differences between your passion and your skill and what you end up doing as work? Could you have a passion for something? Could you have a skill and could that still be separate from your work? Or is it the same across board? So let's put that in the chat. What do we think? What do we think? Is there a difference between passion, skill, and your day-to-day job, your work that you do every day? Can we put that? Anyone who wants to start us off, who wants to please put it in the chat. If you're on Zoom, please put it in the comment section. If you're on Facebook, are there differences?
You know what? I like passion that relates to relationship. You know, that's the one that usually gears up people to, you know, the passion in the relationship, in a loving marriage. You know what I mean? Well, yes, this relates to passion about work. So we need to be focused.
And you know me, I'm a pastor, yeah. So I like the passion of the Christ. I love, like Easter period. We're doing a service in church at the moment on the cross. Oh my God. I love things like that. What the cross did for us. If you come to church tomorrow, we'll be talking about the demands of the cross or the blessings of the cross. So I like the passion of Christ.
Okay. I like the passion.
We like passion of relationship. But today we're talking about passion of work.
Yes.
It is well.
Okay.
It
All
is
right.
well. Anything from anybody?
Yeah. Okay.
Before if anything comes to mind, please put it in the chat. Please put it in the chat. So, is that still me?
Yeah.
So, like we were saying, the passions we're discussing today relates to work and career. So, by definition,
or hobby.
By definition, passion refers to a strong and intense enthusiasm or desire towards something or to do something. Just something you want to do, It is an extreme interest in or wish for doing something such as a hobby or activities, one which readily comes to mind. I don't know, when we're young, some people will jump, you keep them at home, you say, stay at home, don't go, we'll jump out of the window just to go play football. And all that. We know we're not meant to leave home. We'll jump out of the window, we'll run away from home to go play football and hope we get back in time before we are discovered. Because we're passionate about such things. People have all kinds of things they're passionate about. So passion can be a driving force that motivates and inspires individuals to pursue their dreams. I want to be a photographer. So all my money I save, buy either on my phone or a camera. I'm always taking pictures, I'm always taking videos and things like that. That can be passion. That can be a passion. Okay, so Pastor C from Saudi Arabia said, my job does not reflect my passion, but I enjoy it still. Thank you. That's interesting. Yeah. Well, we might as well take that
Pastor C, we can go just summarize.
We can go now. I know that. That's it. Done. We can go.
Yeah.
So, basically what Pastor C is saying there is that passion can be different from your skills, and your skills can be different from your daily job. Some of us are doing work to some of us are in some career lines, or we're doing some work today which isn't related to the skill we gained whilst we were going through our education, whilst we were going through our learning. It's just something totally different. And that again can be totally different from your passion. So take somebody who works, give me an example of just a day job, somebody who works in, let's say somebody who works in local government, for example, well, the local government or central government, somebody works in the civil service, for example. So you work in the Department of Health in the civil service, and you are a policy advisor on health in the civil service. But you trained up to be a medical doctor. Yeah, that's your skill. Your skill is medical, being a medical doctor. That's what you trained up for. But once you're done, you're like, oh, nah, this is what I want to do and all that. So you start working in the Ministry of Health. Your passion originally could be boxing. You have always wanted to be a boxer. I've always wanted to be an artist. I've always wanted to be a musician. So you can see, you wanted to be a musician. That's your passion. The skill you picked up through learning is that of medical doctor. But where you are at right now is a policy advisor. So that's just the complexity of human nature. And what we are trying to do tonight is, are there ways we can we find a way to live fulfilling lives, having done a good job with our passion and our profession, having really thought about what we want to do and making it work out in such a way that we don't live miserable lives in the future. That's what we want to do. Anyways, so
Another question.
we've got another question there, and this one is a lot easier, so it should be easier. And I've mentioned one or two. What are things that people can be passionate about? What are people passionate about? So if we talk about passion relating to hobbies and activities, can we give some examples? That's a lot more easy. What are things we see around that people are passionate about, or people do? Things that like maybe hobbies or activities that people do. We can put it in the chat. Charitable work, yes.
Aww.
That's true. Some
Very well.
people,
Yeah, charitable
thanks
work.
for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charitable work, exactly. Some people travel the world to do that. Some people. Please put in more. Let's get it coming. There's some sheep's. Is it a sheep or sheep's called the Mercy? Is it the Mercy?
Mercy ships.
Yeah. And medical doctors will volunteer their time to go on those ships to treat people and all of that. So that's good. Yeah, charitable work. What else are people passionate about? I mentioned the arts. Some people just like drawing. They just. You gave an example of Blossom.
That she has a passion for drawing.
Yeah.
Designing things.
Designing things in pictorial.
Does that
form.
now mean that passion can be turned into a profession? Or So,
exactly. Yeah. So
people are passionate about their faith.
People are passionate about their faith. You see, the problem with having a pastor online is they only see everything from the lens of the back. Like I said, I'm passionate about the passion of the Christ.
Yes.
I've got another pastor here who's passionate about our faith. Of course, we can be passionate about our faith. Can we turn that into a profession, though? Maybe.
No. Maybe. There's so many pastors.
Full-time pastors, you're on point, sis. You're on point.
Na said sports. Yes, thank you. Family. You can be passionate about your family.
Can you turn that into a profession? Full-time husband.
I can be a full-time housewife if you earn a lot of money. I don't mind. Anyways.
So on that positive note, we move on.
Singing, acting.
Singing, yeah. Some people only sing in their bathrooms when they're having their bath. We're beyond that, acting and all that. All right. Yes. Okay.
So we put here that people can be passionate about, things people are passionate about: photography, the art, music, sports, and people can be passionate about playing computer games. People can be passionate about cooking, politics, fashion, different things that people can be. Oh, me too, housewife. Wow, well done. Don't worry, we will speak to our husbands. I'm just speaking now. Okay.
Don't be tempted. Don't be tempted. That's temptation to become full-time housewife.
But people can be housewife. Raising godly children is part of what God wants us to do.
True.
And when we raise godly children, our community will benefit from it, be better.
Yeah, but we want the man to live long.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
thank you, everyone. We will be moving swiftly to profession. What does profession mean? So we've talked about passion, what people could be passionate about, and profession is a paid occupation that requires skill.
Okay.
Profession always requires skill, and thankfully, Pastor Sim mentioned that. My job does not reflect my passion, but I enjoy it still not. I thought something that it's not, so that it requires skill. It requires specialized knowledge. It requires training, and it requires a high level of education sometimes. When an expertise in a particular field. That's what profession is about. So we've discussed passion, and then profession usually is based on monetary gains. So passion may not necessarily have monetary gains tied to it, but profession is usually you are paid. And we have examples of professions: engineers, judges, teachers, astronomers, lawyers, and all of that. But there is a question I want to ask, which talks about, profession. Just talking about profession now. Are there particular, I said, what are the types of profession in our world today that parents always, the popular professions that parents focus on? Could you please put that in the chat? Particular professions or popular professions that parents always want, I want my son to be, I want my daughter to be this, Can we put it on there? Thank you, Sister Doris. Passionate about continuous learning. Yes, for self-development. We should be passionate about that.
True. We should that's a passion all of us should have. We should all have that passion. Yeah. That's really important.
To learn and develop. And it's one of the reasons why we are here, why we are on this platform today, why you are listening and participating in this, is because you want to learn more. You want to learn something. Okay. And I hope that by God's grace, we will all be blessed after this session.
Yes.
So, accountants, some of the ones that parents, a barrister. I like my child to be a barrister.
Really?
That sounds really posh.
My son's a
my son is a barrister, even though they are not well paid. Sorry, I take that back. Footballer, yes. A lot of parents want their children to be in football. Yes, footballer. Any more?
Anyone? Let's get it coming.
Medical. Oh, even my mom. My mom still called me a few days ago, said, I thought one of you would become a medical doctor, but you didn't. So which of your children is studying medicine? And I'm like, Mom, none of my children is going to be a medical doctor. Lawyer, I don't think a lot of parents want their children to be handymen. I'm not sure about that.
But these days, technology and handy jobs, sports and things like that.
Medical doctor. My son is an engineer. It doesn't matter what type of engineer they are. My son is an engineer.
Yes.
Parents I think our parents, they derived pleasure. There's a status that brings, that my son is an engineer, my son is a medical doctor, and all of that. So I'm going to be
two more there.
Architecture, banker, my son works in the bank, even though they work from very 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. My son is a bank manager. Yes, thank you everyone. Architecture, my son is an architect. Sounds posh, really.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, Pastor.
And oftentimes it's just in the label, So yes, like we said, professions do bring money to the table, and you do need money to feed your family. It's like my younger son. My younger son always says that money is not important. Money is not important to me. It's not. But this boy wants to buy, and things like that. And I was like, okay, so it might not be important to you in terms of money by itself, but in terms of what money can do, that looks important. That looks important to you. So a lot of times it's about the name, the label, rather than what it can do, But moving on. So what are the key differences? Let's explore the key differences between passion and profession. What are the key differences between passion and profession? We've defined passion, we've defined professions. Where do they marry? Where are they different? Let's look at the difference. So, difference between passion and profession. I'll start with it. We'll take it in turns. So I'll take the first one. Like we said, passion is any activity that tends to provide a sense of excitement. It provides a sense of excitement, immense joy, and fulfillment. It's what you've always wanted to do. It is what you are doing. You are happy about it. When the sweet spot of life is to get a passion, and for that passion to become your profession. That is where we all want to be. But going ahead of ourselves just for a minute, that is not the case for everybody. So we'll come back to that. So that's passion, any activity which provides a sense of excitement, immense joy, and fulfillment. Whilst on the other hand, profession is a duty that helps fulfills life's materialistic necessities, which includes buying or renting a house, traveling, taking care of family. You can have this wonderful passion, and yet your family are still very, very poor. How do you bridge the gap? Those are the kind of things we're looking at. So that's the first one.
Yeah. The second one is that passion may or may not always bring monetary gain. I think I've mentioned that. It's not all passion that has monetary gain tied to it. Or it's not all passion that will be successful, that can be monetized, that will be successful or be monetized.
Yeah.
But profession, in a way, usually is tied to monetary gain.
Yeah.
So you find out that when you are in a profession, when you're in a vocation, it brings in money for you and it takes care of your family needs.
Yeah.
But passion necessarily doesn't do that.
That's true. And please, let's as we think about this, let's think in terms of ourselves, and also let's always think in terms of our children as we go on and on, and it will all come to a head at some point. Passion, another difference is passion is driven by personal interest and intrinsic motivation. It comes from your inside. It's just natural for you to do. Whilst profession, on the other hand, is driven by external factors such as parental influence, such as what you saw on TV, what was discussed in school, and all of that. That's oh, sorry.
Okay,
we just turn that around so you can take that one. Yeah.
Okay.
So parental influence, peer pressure. What are my friends doing? The follower following the follower, and all of that. We all want to do this. We don't even know why. We just want to do it. Financial stability, social status, and job security. Those are professions. They're driven by external factors. But your passion naturally comes from your inside. That's what we say here.
All right, moving on swiftly. Passion can be self-taught or at times is a natural flair, which we've also already mentioned. That passion is a natural flair. It can be self-taught. You can teach yourself, while profession requires education, training, and experience.
Yeah.
So with a profession, you need to be an expertise in a particular area for you to rise in that profession. So
thank you. And finally on this, passion has the power to diminish the fear of hurdles or loss. When you tell a child, if a child has a passion for something and you just release them into it, they're not afraid. They can take on the world. That, oh yeah, oh, basketball, that's my passion. I'll do it. Oh, but your training is 6 hours on Saturday and 10 hours on Sunday and another 10 hours during the week. It's okay. It's okay. I do it. I do it. Why? Because it's their passion. They don't see they're not afraid of the hurdles or of the cost of it. They're willing to do it. Children are likely to do well in assessments that relate to their passion. If you're an artist and things like that, so you need to go for this assessment. Yeah, bring it on. Let's do it and all that. On the other hand, children are likely to be anxious in assessments that purely relate to a profession they're not passionate about. So I'm passionate about music. So yeah, but there's this engineering assessment, there's this STEM assessment, that you need to go for if you want to become, so you can become an engineer in future. So, but science is not my strength. I don't like physics. I don't like maths. Or yeah, I'm good at them, but I might struggle. Why are they saying that? Because that's not their passion. If it's an area linked to their passion, then they want to do it. If it's not linked to their passion, then they will struggle. That's what we're saying. That's the key difference between passion and profession.
Okay, so having laid the foundation of what passion is, what profession is, the difference between passion and profession, and I think you are on board with us. The next question we want to ask is, can passion become your child's profession? Can passion, their passion, a child's passion, can it become their profession? Please put on the chat, what do you think? If it's a yes, please, why is that? Can it be turned to a profession? Can passion become a child's profession?
So let's take, just whilst people are putting things on the chat, let's take a passion, for example. So if we say computer games, I wanted to find one which is really tricky. Computer games.
Yeah, they can turn it.
How
they can learn. Okay, all right.
The passion for computer games become a profession?
You can start. They can start learning. See, there's so many.
Go ahead. Please put it in the chat. Please answer that question. Yes.
There's so many. Is it what do they call it? Computer. Is it coding or what do they call them? What do they like? Some of the is it Python and all of that? Yeah, you can learn options, but you will have to be skilled. So that passion and then the training to be skilled, to be able to decode, or is it coding and decoding, then can be turned into a profession.
Right.
Does that make sense?
That makes
so
sense.
Really,
I wasn't thinking that's deep. I was thinking like computer games.
Thought you were going to.
Like so I enjoy playing games. My passion is to play games. How can that become a profession? You know what's interesting? The game, that game, just producing games, getting people to play and all that, is one of the most lucrative business out there. It's a £1 billion industry on it, games. But at the same time, there are millions of games, and there are millions of games that don't even they don't make the headline. Nobody buys them. Nobody. So your passion might be, yes, I just want to create games and get people to play. What if you create games and nobody plays it? So those are the kind of things we're thinking about. So we said
yes, passion can become a profession.
Okay.
And for example, if a child likes acting, they can be, if you fan it a flame, enroll them in a drama school and all of that, they can become actors or actresses. If a child likes sports, a particular sport, if they're able to pursue it, alongside other training. So it's not just pursuing. So for example, even actors, they have to go to different training and all of that,
Yeah.
to upskill
Upskill
themselves. The same as musicians, but one of the things that we are thinking is when a child has a passion, that passion in itself is not enough. You can, if anyone is going to become something that will last for a period of time, that passion itself is not enough.
Okay.
So it's more of the passion and how they can be upskilled, how that passion can turn into a profession. So what we've said, one of the things, please, that you will need to note to this afternoon as a takeaway is that talent is never enough. Something needs to be done to refine that talent to become something marketable,
Right.
to become something that is relevant in this day and age. And especially because we know that technology is always advancing. We'll get to that in a minute, So that's, passion can be turned into profession.
Okay.
But it's not all passion
that will
turn into a profession.
Okay. So, thank you, Pastor C. On Facebook. Yes, a child's passion can become their profession. They will be driven to succeed. For example, a chef. Many chefs just live to cook and turn it into their profession. Case in point, Ainsley Harriott and Jamie Oliver. Of course, definitely. That's a very, very good example of where a passion has been turned into a profession. Okay, we're going to look at 3 scenarios now before we really dive into making career decisions with our children. We're going to look at 3 scenarios, and I'll talk about 2 of them, and my wife will talk about 1 of them. We're going to look at 3 scenarios. But before we do that, I want to ask you a question.
Me?
Did your parents ever sit you down and like, darling, what is your...
Okay.
Sorry. Darling, what is your passion?
Oh, wow. What a question. As we all know, that even if you have a passion, the way we were raised, most of us, well, I would say personally mine, is before you can't even, is the fear of what you will get when you mention your passion already will paralyze you before you can even say, oh, Mom, this is my passion, Dad, this is my passion. Because once my dad comes in, my dad of beloved memory, once he comes in, everybody disappears. So where will
the conversation
take place? No, not at all.
So, but that was your generation, and my generation, and some of us. So, what we're saying is, that may have been the way it was then. It doesn't have to be the same now. We can do things differently now. Okay, 3 scenarios. First scenario is around parents who want to pursue their children's passion. Second scenario is a parent who don't want to hear about their children's passion, as alludes to exactly what you said. And the third scenario is where there's a combination of both. So let's take them one by one. So first one, many parents want their children to pursue their passion. However, they are not developing a profession on the side for that child. Oh yeah, you're good at football, go for it. And when you put all your eggs in one basket, and at the end of the day, nothing comes out of it for a variety of reasons. So if there are 2 million kids in the UK who play football every Sunday, hoping to get that lucrative contract with Arsenal, Tottenham Hotspur, Man City, Man United, and of those 2 million, just roughly under 2,000 ever get into some form of academic,
That's 1%, isn't it?
yeah, probably, yeah, get into some form of academy, and within that, maybe another 200 ever break through into the first team. So really, out of 2 million, you probably only get 200 who break through into first team, and they're playing and they're happy and all of that. The question we need to ask ourselves is, what would happen to all of those other children who all had a passion about football? That's 1.98. Yeah, it's 1,980,000.
Yeah, no, not 80.
No,
Because it's 200. 1.9.
909.
Okay, let's forget about 1.9 million approximately.
Yeah, exactly. What would happen to all those children who have a passion, and the parents help them pursue their passion, but it didn't turn into a profession? So Pastor C also talked about chefs, for example. What happened to all those countless number of people who know how to cook, who want to cook and all that, but who never had that breakthrough? What happens to them? Where do they go? And some would have left it till so late, because they pursue, left it till so late that to them begin to even think about picking up a profession becomes such a burden to them at the time. So many parents want their children to pursue their passions and not their profession, and not develop their profession on side.
So sorry, it's just a sentence, sir. And most times, I think for us parents, we need to help our children, even if they are so passionate about something, help them, channel part of that strength into something aside that passion. Because most of those children, sir, they go and believe that they will break through.
Yeah, of course.
And usually when that happens, it breaks them. And if profession or skill or another training has not been done on the side, then what happens to that child?
Exactly. Yeah. That's
and we need to be able to manage their expectations. That only 0.5% actually makes it into the limelight.
Exactly. And just on that, I had this said a long time ago, that there was once a conversation between Ronaldo, not the current Ronaldo, the old Ronaldo, who was a Brazilian footballer, and David Beckham. And Ronaldo was the best player in the world in his time. David Beckham was a very, very good player, but not the best player. And then after they finished their footballing career, David Beckham went on to do great things, set up a football academy. He acted in a movie. He was doing a lot of things. He was known. And Ronaldo was like, look, I was a better player than you. I probably earned more money than you as we were playing. How comes you are now more famous than I am? The difference was David Beckham did not focus just on his passion. He built a profession. He built a set of skills around it, which helped him take it further. So yes, even if your child becomes the next great footballer, guess what? An injury, or basketballer or a boxer, one injury can end that career. Will they still be able to flourish and thrive without having to rely on an agent, a solicitor, an accountant, who will fleece them, make money out of them? And I mean, it goes back to what you said, that talent is never enough. Whatever the passion is, that talent, that passion is never enough. So moving on, what we also need to acknowledge, like we said before, is not all passions are financially viable or sustainable as full-time careers. If you're playing golf, for example, and you become very, very good, old men play golf. But look at tennis, for example. Roger Federer at 39 was considered an old man. 39. In football, as an attacker, when you turn 30, you're seen as, oh, you're really, really old. You've become an institution. So, although they are pursuing that passion, where does it take them after their career? Where does it take them? So, not all passions are sustainable as full-time careers. That's why some of them go into drugs, alcohol, and all that, because suddenly there is nothing to do. They're like, my life is meaningless when I'm not playing football. But there's more to life than just kicking around leather about, you know. So some passions also are just not viable. And all that. And the sooner a child realizes that, yes, you've got this passion and it's good, and we encourage you to pursue it because it's good for us to do what we love to do. You have to build a profession by the side. So pursuing a passion as a job can also sometimes turn it into a stressful obligation rather than a source of joy. I like taking pictures. I just enjoy it. But when I now have to turn it into, I need to make money out of it, I need to sell those pictures, it might become a chore because I don't like selling. You know? Like I said about computer games, I might enjoy playing it.
But you don't want to do programming.
But do I want to do programming? Do I want to do coding? Do I want to do Python? No, I just want to play, what's that Creed? Assassin's Creed. Is that it? Yeah. Just want to play Assassin's Creed. I just know the name of that. I've never played it. I just want to play Assassin's Creed and all of that. So, by choosing a stable career that aligns with your skills and interests, you can enjoy financial stability. So, I take for example, I know only because you're here, Pastor C, so I use you as an example because you're here. Pastor C has a day job which she enjoys, which she does, and all of that, but she's very, very passionate about her faith, about souls, and all of that, and she's doing a combination of both, making her very, very much fulfilled. I spend my weekends, I spend my evening time, and all of that. Okay, yeah, giving myself as an example.
Make it short.
Yeah, okay, so housing, helping people with housing issues has always been my passion, and it's what I still do. And my second passion, of course, is teaching people God's word and doing things like this, which is also what I do. So when I get to work on Monday morning and they ask me, how was your weekend and all that, I just smile while they talk about, oh, I watched that football match, oh, I watched this soap, oh, I do that. I just smile and they're like, I wish I could really, really tell you all the great and awesome things we did with the cross of Christ over the weekend and all of that. What we are saying is you might have a passion, but you might need to combine it. Choosing a stable career that aligns with your skills and interests, you can enjoy financial stability. I like helping people with housing issues and it pays my bills. Perfect. Oh, do you want to leave that sector? No, I do enjoy what I do. And in that sector, I enjoy it. So that's that. Also, what we need to bear in mind is that passion can change over time. A child who tells you today, I want this, I want to do your younger son, well, my younger son, see, I've got two boys, two lovely boys, God bless them, I love them with all my heart and all of that. But their pathway into their careers are totally different. The older one took his time, gave us headache, gave us prayers, lots of prayers and all that, got there in the end and all that. There weren't many options, just waited until the option came. Fine. The younger one, on the other hand, now maybe we are on option 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all kinds of options. And the others were like, oh yeah, that's good, we can do that. On the other hand, we're like, no. I don't want to wake up in the morning praying that, Lord, my son will not be shot today. No, I don't want that. So it's different for each child. Passion can change over time. What excites and motivates them today may not necessarily do so in future. So that's why we don't just say, oh, because you want to play football, go play football. What if that changes tomorrow? Yeah. So betting your entire career on a current passion can lead to disillusionment if it fades over time. Over to you. Second scenario.
Well done, well done. Yes. So the second scenario is the fact that many parents, we've talked about some of the jobs, jobs that when you mention them, or career that when you mention profession, that when you mention them, people like, oh, your son is a medical doctor. Oh, wow, your son is an engineer. So on the other hand, parents, want their children to pursue popular professions like being a doctor, lawyer, accountant, because those jobs, their titles are prestigious, respected, and admired. And yeah, maybe it gives a stable income, but it doesn't pay the best. It doesn't, honestly, research has shown that it doesn't pay the best salary. But those parents discount their children's passion. So, for example, if a child says, oh, mom, I want to study medicine, but I want to play football alongside. No. You can't. You forget anything about sports. You can't do that. Just focus on being a medical doctor or being an engineer. Usually, that makes children miserable.
Yeah.
Sometimes they go into a career when we force them to do the career. And I know there are still some parents today that they are still commander. Remember, we mentioned commander, consultant, coach, and counselor. There are parents that even when their children are in their 20s, they are still commanding. You cannot study any other, let me use my language. You cannot study any other career. You have to be a medical doctor.
I couldn't become a medical doctor, so
you have to be one. Hey. And there are parents that push their children along that line. In the 21st century, you need to talk with that child and not at that child. And some children will say, okay, mom, okay, dad. They get their certificate and they give it to you. That's your certificate. You can practice with it. Off I go and pursue my own profession. Sometimes when we force children to go into a particular profession that they haven't researched into, or they don't have a flair for, then this may lead to mental health issues. It leads to unstable career patterns. They are in a job today, they are out tomorrow, and all of that. And of course, it leads to relationship. It leads to relationship breakdown. So that's the second scenario. The first one is pursuing passion without anything profession. And the second one is pursuing profession neglecting their passion. And the third one.
And the third one, Sister Doris in the chat has she's just nailed it. And again, we can end here. When some people give an answer that just say, bam, that's it. Let's get out of here. We're done now. That is exactly what we are talking about. Parents should encourage their children to pursue their passion whilst training for a profession they are interested in. Just doing it on the side. Look, okay, so your child likes football and you are looking at the bigger picture. That, okay, after they finish their footballing career, what would be good for them to go into? Advertising. Marketing, because they're in the limelight, they're known. How can they build up on that? So they pick up, so you help them pick up a career in marketing or in selling themselves, in advertising, in managing, being a managing agent, a coach, whatever, so that once that career is over, they can pursue that. Or it could be one where they can't monetize their passion, so you still encourage them to pursue it, so that when they leave work as a hobby, when they leave work, like Sister Doris said there, when they leave work, they have something to go into and do. I love traveling to Ghana year on year, just to go be with people for mission work, for outreach work, just to go help people. And I tell them at work, I do this charity mission, it's an international charity, and everybody says, wow, that's so lovely, Vincent. I love that. It's a combination. It's the best of both worlds. So that's what we need to do. When we help our children pursue their passions and train for a profession they're interested in, this will reduce the tension between having to choose one or the other. Remember, the title of this program is Passion or Profession. actually where we're going to is passion and profession. That's the core, passion and profession. Also, there's no immediate pressure to monetize such passion when you are not putting pressure on them. Play. Have you heard of fathers who are standing by the sideline when their children are playing? Just run, jump, play, jump, score. What's wrong with you? You can't even play. Because they're hoping John will get a contract someday. And John is like, I want to play to enjoy. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I don't want to make money out of it. I'm not asking to make money out of it. I just like being here. No. You got to go through. God help us all in Jesus' name. With maturity, the child can decide to pursue the passion, having laid good foundation in their profession. So, they've set up the profession, they're working on maybe a medical doctor now because they enjoy helping people.
Why use a medical doctor? Why don't you use maybe
which one?
They are interpreter. They work in an embassy somewhere.
They work in an embassy, it's in the foreign office somewhere, or in the civil service, or in the bank. They have a good job, and then they look at their profession and they're like, you know what? I'm at a stage now where I can actually monetize this passion. I've got a good foundation. Have you heard of people who just travel, who just leave everything and travel 1 year, 2 years, just to go focus solely on their passion?
But they have a profession to sustain.
Or they have a profession to sustain them.
That passion.
Exactly. So like teachers, for example, you could then travel to a place like China or another country, and whilst you are teaching English language, you are on the side pursuing your passion. Or your passion could be you want to travel anyways. So you travel to countries where they don't speak English. You teach English, which is your profession, but you enjoy your passion because you are able to travel around. Combining both is the secret to having a successful career where you don't have that golden ticket of turning that passion into a profession. So that's what we are. That's what we are saying. Okay, I think
so I guess it's now, how do we help our children? How do we help work with them to identify sustainable career paths? Or how do we help our children to identify sustainable career path? And your child may not be able to know what their passion is. So one of the things is, while some fortunate individuals already know what their passion is, we need to help our children know what their passion is. When we see them in an area where they are thriving, we should encourage it. However, if that's not going to be sustainable and be what's the word now? That it can be monetized, that can sustain them over a period of time, look for a profession alongside that passion and ensure that they are committed, they are trained to develop in that path. Human interest can be very, very wide ranging, like Pastor said, and ever changing. I might like something today, I may not like it tomorrow. So, our interests are wide ranging, they are changing. And it makes it difficult sometimes to pin down what is the passion, so you need to really work with that child to embrace different interests in life and exploring multiple avenues, thinking of how do I bring the best out of this child, working with that child. I wanted us to, and then the second one is...
so like we said before, it's developing the skills and proficiency alongside the passion. Don't just focus. We should help them identify their passion and pursue it, because that will bring them happiness. But we should also help them get into a profession they're interested in, which either complements the passion that they have, or can help them make money whilst they also pursue their passion. So choosing a career that aligns with their skills and abilities can be fulfilling rather than just chasing a passion. When they excel at something, it often leads to a sense of accomplishment and pride. They also need to, so again, if you have a passion like photography, for example, how to sell themselves, training, getting good education alongside is just as important. It's not just important, I know how to play basketball, or I know how to play football, or I know how to sing. How do you sell it? There are lots of singers who are better than all these musicians you see today. Taylor Swift has now become a billionaire. That didn't happen because she has a good voice. I don't know whether she has a good voice. But she's now a billionaire. And there are many musicians who are not billionaires. What's the difference? Luck? No. Training, skills, learning that has helped her hone her passion to become a billionaire. So it's a combination of passion and profession. Selecting a career that matches up with what they are good at can also make for an easy barrier to entry. So the foundation must be laid, foundation of good education, good training, because that will only help their passion thrive.
Okay, and the last one on that is that our children, we need to teach them that manage expectations, that you may start out on this passion, but it may not always end, like we've mentioned earlier, that, about 0.5% people in sports, only 0.5% of them make it actually into the limelight. So we need to manage our expectations that, you may start out at this, but it may not end at this. So that such a child needs to be adaptable. Our world is ever changing. If I have to talk about my career, honestly, is what I studied in the university is not what I'm practicing now. And what I'm practicing now actually gives me more joy than what I studied.
Wow.
But because jobs can change, technologies is evolving, and there is need in particular industries. There was a time IT was booming. It's still booming now, but a lot of people left their vocation and trained to be IT, or some of them trained to be things that the jobs that are particularly in that time is booming. A lot of people are going into project management now. So we need to be adaptable, flexible, and that's why while pursuing passion, profession, being trained and being skilled in other things is also very important. We may think sports for, we know that, most of the time sport is viable, but at some point it may turn to something else, and we need to teach our children that to be able to be adaptable. When our world changes, you change with it, and that's so that we don't become obsolete. Like we said, sometimes even some professional sports people, if they are not trained properly, once that career finishes or ends, then they think, what becomes of me? And actually, some of them even become poorer than when they started.
No, definitely. Some of
because
them
that's
go
the only
bankrupt
thing.
because exactly. They can't manage themselves. They've been used to somebody managing them all their lives. Okay, so as we begin to tidy this up now, let's now focus on making career decisions or profession decisions with our children. We don't want to make it for them. We don't want to make it to them. We want to make it with them. And the first thing we need to bear in mind is a child being a child, the children, a child being a child is unlikely to know what they want to do, and this is okay. It's okay. Say, my child from the time she was 3, she's always said she wants to be a medical doctor. Does she even understand what a medical doctor means? So my child has always wanted to be an architect. Do they understand what it means to be an architect? And it's okay. If the child comes and I want to be an architect, fantastic. It's all right. Let's explore that. It might change tomorrow and it's the same. Fantastic. It's okay. Let's explore that. Might change next year. Fantastic. Because you are training them in the art of decision making. And it's good for them to exercise that. by themselves. So your child is unlikely to know what they want to do, and that's okay. Do not feel that a decision has to be made immediately. By the time you are 10, you must know what you want to do. Some of us are 50. We still
Even the
don't know what
ones
we
in
want to do.
university, sometimes they change their courses.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
University. I said you can see a 16-year-old man who is still trying to find out what he wants to do. In all of this, God has to be our foundation. We always have to go back to Him. Lord, what have you created me to do? That is just as important as everything else we have spoken about. Your child will need to make decisions at different times. I've spoken about that. It's important to ask them about careers from time to time. Just have that conversation with them. You are steering up their minds, and that's good to do. Get them to chat about the jobs they see other people doing. What do you know about medicine? What do you know about being a barrister? What do you know about being a pilot? What do you know about being a footballer? What do you know about being a boxer? What's your view about Anthony Joshua? Oh, that guy whose eyes is always swollen after every match. You know he's not going to be a boxer. He's just told you that the boxing isn't on the table. You could discuss types of jobs that might be relevant to their interests, skills, and aspirations. You are good at this. Have you thought about, you love cooking. Have you thought about turning that into a profession? Have you thought about that? What would that look like? What courses would you have to study for you to become a cook in future, a chef in future, and things like that? Those are the kind of conversations we need to have at early stage. That's laying the foundation of having a career discussion with our children.
Well, thank you for that. One of the other things we need to do as well is listen to your child and discuss their options. Listen to that child. That child goes out, it mixes with people or mixes with other children in the school, in church, in their wherever they are. Let's listen to them. It's part of their training, to be self-sufficient, or to be able to make decisions themselves. It's important you listen to that child and don't judge them. Just listen. Okay, you want to do this. All right, but have you explored? Have you done research? Go and look at the people that have been in that career or in that vocation for the last 20 years. Speak to them. Find out if when I was in my first job that I started as a drilling engineer. And I used to go on the rig a lot of time, offshore rigs. I used to be on offshore rigs. So I didn't, most of the time I wasn't home. I was always away from my family, from my husband. I had not been able to have children then. And one of my managers said, if you really think this is a career for you in the long term, he said, go and speak to those who have been in that career in the last 20 years. Ask them, are they fulfilled? Are they, do they measure their success as balanced? And honestly, the answers I got shocked me. Most of the time they're away from their family. They have their family somewhere, but most of them are men. So it's not a job that a lot of women do, and when I spoke with them, some of them, they were like, they don't think that they will, for a woman, you should pursue that kind of career. And of course I had to retrain. And what I'm doing now, I am enjoying it. And I can say that life is balanced. I have my children, I have time for other things. It's not just about work, and money. So be open to ideas, encourage them, and explore options. Tell them, keep in mind that your child's choices and decisions should be based on their aspirations and abilities. Don't just impose upon them, like we've mentioned. You have to be this. You have to be and this, and that is that what you think they should do. Explore it with them. While they are doing their own research, do yours as well. And lastly, remember that not everyone has a clear idea of what they want to do. So your child's career may change. I would say most of us that come into this country, most of the time, it's not what we studied that we are in the university that we are working with. So be open to that child, and learn not to judge them or talk them down. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So quickly skim through a few more things. help them to do research, teach them to do research.
Yeah.
Like you said, the people at the top of that career, what do they look like? Are they happy? What kind of families do they have? Is that what you aspire to? If it is, fine, you can go into it. If it is not, then you can do something else. Teach them decision-making skills. Teach them the pros and cons of various options. I remember when my son came in and said, I'd like to be a policeman. I was like, God forbid, Jesus Christ, that is not going to happen. PC Lawal, never. You know, I'm a poor guy.
Policeman.
Thankfully, he moved on from it. And then he came back and said, I want to be a Marine. I was like, why is this why you're always choosing careers that make me afraid?
But Pastor, we've just said now, don't judge them. Listen to them. Explore options.
And listen.
PC Lawal. There are policemen everywhere.
Yeah. For Jesus is Lord.
What is the
Exactly.
That's the prayer.
That's the prayer. Lord, as my son goes out today, may he not get shot in Jesus' name. What? There are better prayers I need to pray other than that. So, pros and cons of various options.
Okay. And also, moving on swiftly, we'll be rounding up soon, is knowing about the options that are available out there. Even in line of their passion. Think of apprenticeship. Is it something that will be beneficial to them? There's so many, even a lot of apprenticeship these days. You get a degree while working and you're getting experience. Think of apprenticeship. Think of employment training, in their area of interest. Let them shadow people. Make them go. They can. Some schools actually ask them to do work experience. Get them into. To get the apprenticeship. Look at the different options that are available to them, and discuss. You can discuss ideas with their teachers. Most of the time they spend at least 7-8 hours in school. If you see a teacher that takes a liking to your child. And that, encourage it. Speak to that teacher. Oh, what do you think he has flair for? Blah, blah, blah. Speak to that teacher. We should not be parents that when it's parents' evening, you are working or you are not there for those children. Be at their careers, if there's a career advisor, career event, be there. Or if you're not there, when they come home, what did you discuss today? How did it go? What do you think? Let's discuss with them. Let's discuss their options. These children we are raising, honestly, some of them have their IQ is far advanced because of technology. And we shouldn't just think we know everything. And find about training, college, university entrance requirements. Look at all of these things with your child, as well as the jobs they are interested. Don't just leave them to it. Okay, you're going to which university? And are you going? Okay, is this one, mommy? Or which training are you doing? Explore it with them. It's easier. It makes the process easier.
And thank you for it in future that you walked the walk with them. Let them take part in club activities, work experience. Work experience is important. It helps them know whether they really want that thing or not. So that's important. And also to attend career events. When they listen to people, it helps them filter. Oh, they might have said, I want to. And say, oh, police get shot. Okay, no, I don't want to get shot. I'm not doing that. Career events and things like that. If there's one thing I want to say as we go into the summary conclusion, it is whatever you do, please don't limit their dreams. Don't tell them that, getting a job in Marks and Spencer is okay, in McDonald's. It's just, as long as you are bringing money in, that's all that matters. No. Please do not do that. Let them fly. Somebody said, aim your arrows high. If you don't reach the sky, you might land on an eagle. And then help them to aim high. Because if they hit it, if they really get a good career, or if they're able to monetize their passion, it is for your benefit too. As a parent, it's for their joy and it is for yours too. Don't let your own disadvantage, pain, anger, disappointment, don't let it limit them. This country is racist. Oh, so because of that, don't dream. Forget your vision. It won't happen. There is a ceiling. They will stop you.
Black children.
No, black children don't amount to anything. No, forget all of that. With God on your side, your children will be successful.
Yeah, we've also mentioned work experience and attend career events. Attend career events with the school organizers or outside, just to broaden your own horizon, your view, as well as theirs as well. And this is our summary. Thank you, everyone. One of the things we did say is the summary is don't discount your child's passion. If your child says, oh, mom, I think I have passion for this, explore it. With the right talents, right skills, passion may lead to a fulfilling profession.
Yeah.
And this is every individual's dream. That's what everybody wants to be.
Exactly.
When you are not struggling at a particular vocation or profession, don't discount it. Refine your child's passion until it becomes a profession. The right education is still required as a foundation for a successful future or for successful passion.
That's so true.
If you have two people and they are both passionate about the same thing, one is educated and the other one is not, it takes, at some point you will see the difference. So the right education, make sure they have the right education they need even to fulfill that passion, or a profession alongside it.
Yeah.
Don't push your child into a profession they are not interested in.
Okay.
Remember that not all professions will align with their interests, abilities, and passion. And like we've said, they may be miserable, in them being that doctor, being that medical doctor, being that barrister, and all of that. Explore with your child so that they can have both fulfilling profession and an enjoyable passion.
And they can still pursue a profession in an area of interest. Okay, so again, the fourth summary is not all passions can be turned into viable professions. We've said that some passions with education, skill, training, and all can, some just cannot. And the sooner you do your research and know where you stand, the better. You see some people, I want to work in Hollywood, as a cameraman and things like that. Hollywood is nice, but they are paid pittance. Sometimes they're paid next to nothing. They are poor. They have name. They work in Hollywood, but they earn so little they can't even feed their family because they're pursuing their passion of photography and video conference and working with videos. So you got to think that through. Not all passions can be turned into viable professions. Better to have a profession and pursue a passion alongside it. Thanks, Sister Doris. This can lead to a fulfilling life. And finally, it takes time before a child knows what they want to do. Be patient and travel the journey with them and not for them. They will thank you in future for it. Travel the journey with them, not for them. You must become XYZ.
You cannot become.
Or you cannot become, or do not. If I see you play football again, I will. And all of that. So, anyways, so we hope you have found that really useful. Normally, we would ask that people put their key takeaways in the chat. If there's something you feel, oh yeah, this is my key takeaway, this is what I've learned tonight, we'll be glad if you can put that in the chat. What are you taking away tonight? What has stood out to you? What have you learned? What do you think you'll be doing differently, or what has come as a light bulb moment for you tonight? It does encourage us when people put that. So please,
and if you have any questions as well,
questions, exactly, whatever you feel.
Spend a few minutes to answer those questions.
Exactly. Please, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat. If there's any key takeaways for you tonight, please put it in the chat. And whilst we do that, I'll just round us up and then we can pick up on those. So we hope you've been blessed by this session. we can see that there are things we need to do if we are going to have successful careers for our children, either via their passion or a combination of their passion and a very, very good profession. We are Transformation Sanctuary International. Please keep it coming. Thanks, Bells, for that.
Passion and profession goes hand in
Go
hand.
hand in hand. That
Very
is
true.
so true. That is very, very true. Passion and profession go hand in hand. In fact, they don't work outside of each other. You can't pursue a passion without the skills and the training and everything you need to make it a success. And you can't pursue a profession you don't like and be successful and be happy at it at the same time. Let's keep it coming. This recording will be on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page, so you can always go back and listen to it or share it with other people. On our YouTube channel, we have our Sunday messages there, just purely messages, because like we said, we are sold out to Christ likeness and victorious living. This is an example of living a victorious life in a family setting. That's an example. That's why we do this parenting in the 21st century series. Victorious living for families. And on the other hand, in terms of Christ likeness, we do that on Sundays. And we do that also on Thursdays. Our Thursday Bible study is a world-class Bible study. If you have not attended that, you need to attend. A trial will convince you. You will really, really be blessed. You will be blessed. We will finally, we're always considering topics around parenting. So if there's any topic you have in mind which you think is good, you can also drop it in the chat. We'll pick up on it, and maybe sometime in future we'll get to that. We're looking at that. So it's still in terms of career. We're looking at career and personalities and all that. That's a future event we're going to consider. My child is very, very quiet. How would they make it in the career world? My child is very, very spontaneous and loud. How would they move from one decision to the next every minute? How would they make it in the career world and all of that? We are looking at, we will prepare for those in future. Sister Dory said, passion without profession will limit achievement. That is so
profound.
True. Yeah. Profound. Passion without profession will limit achievement. Somebody else will help you manage your money, and guess what? They will make more than you.
Yeah.
And all of that. And the
last one says, bear in mind that a child's passion can change. Remember to be open-minded. Thank you, Now. Thank you.
Thank you.
We hope you've been blessed, and thank you for joining this. Pastor keeps saying this night. You know, there is a joke that usually when pastors start ministry, it's always in the night because they allow them preach in the night. But I can still see sunshine outside, so I'm saying this afternoon if you have noticed. But so either this night or this evening, wherever you are, we know there's somebody from Saudi Arabia joining us.
Yes.
There are people from Canada who has joined us today. So please, wherever you are, we hope you have been blessed. There is another one. Take away two. Passion. Two people have passion. One is educated and the other is not. Eventually, the difference will show.
Thank you.
Yes, it will show. So there is always benefit in being trained, being skilled, and let's help our children. Let's fan their passion into flame while turning it into a profession. It always goes hand in hand. And
Facebook
says awesome session, blessings and yes, is 8:28 p.m. in Saudi Arabia.
That's why I keep saying night, because it is 8:28 p.m. in Saudi Arabia. Thank you, sis.
But in Canada it's afternoon, Pastor. So good afternoon. But at least we are both right. Thank you. All right, thank you everyone. If you don't belong to any church, you can join us. We're a church that we're based in Rainham, London. Please feel free to contact us via our Facebook page, or our information is on the Facebook page. Please contact us if you need any information. But thank you all. God bless you. And we hope to see you at the next event. God bless you.
God bless you.
Have a good evening.
Day,
morning,
night,
afternoon.
God bless. Bye bye.